It felt like a lifetime ago that I began this hardcore world armed with nothing except my own fists. Those fists had punched a tree, that tree had made a pickaxe, and that pickaxe had led to a kingdom. But all of it could be for nothing. Because there's one thing you never forget about hardcore Minecraft. Every block you've ever placed, every diamond you've ever mined, every footstep you've ever taken. One mistake, and it's all gone. We begin with the pouring rain of day 301. My first goal is to build a new creeper farm because my old one was pretty slow and I was always running out of rockets on my elytra. Creeper farms require an absolute ton of trapdoors, so I spent the entire day chopping wood. I returned home and paid a visit to the villagers because I need some more golden carrots. I also needed string and also to craft dispensers, so I spent the night killing spiders. Day 302 I started looking for a place to build the creeper farm. I wanted it to be near my base, but creeper farms always look ugly, so not too near. Once I decided where I wanted this farm to go, I started work building this redstone clock and then moved on to building the first platform. Guess which genius built it one block too high and had to take it all down. Day 303 is fairly predictable. Building the spawning platforms and placing the trapdoors. Here's a quick update on the progress. And yes, it looks terrible. All through the night in day 304 I continued building the creeper farm. It's getting there, but I only had enough trapdoors for the first 2 layers. You know what that means. Deforestation. I flew home while watching the sunset. Or at least I would have done if I hadn't realized I was going completely the wrong way. I wanted a break from building, so I found my melons and pumpkins while selling them off at very reasonable prices. Day 305 I placed trapdoors all day before clearing an area to build the bottom of the creeper farm. With that done, I dug out a room underneath in order to make a collection system. Day 306 I was adding water to the farm in order to push the creepers into the center magma blocks. It's like a sauna, but the sauna is way too hot and you die. I needed more trapdoors, so it's back to chopping wood. The farm's starting to come together. Late into the night I finished placing all the trapdoors and began this huge roof of slabs. The massive roof will block out all the sunlight, making it dark enough for the creepers to spawn. Day 307 I finished the roof, and while I thought it was done, this farm was actually a shambles. The roof was too small, meaning barely anywhere was dark enough for creeper spawns. Unfortunately, it took me several days to realise that. In the meantime, I went around lighting up any nearby caves I could find also to increase spawns at the farm. Day 308 I needed to add some more water to the bottom of the farm, and somehow even that wasn't going to plan. I spent the night farming and making money. Day 309 I thought the farm was done and paired up in order to AFK. I headed down as night fell and went to collect the gunpowder. Right, so we got 6 pieces. For some reason I thought the redstone clock that powers the water system to push creepers off was too fast, so I extended it. Watching this is painful. It's the roof. Please, just fix the roof. Nope, guess we're AFKing all of day 310. Wow, that was definitely worth it. I've no idea why I didn't just watch the tutorial again or see what's wrong. I decided to take a break from building the farm and headed to the nether to get wither skulls. Along the way I found this bastion. I killed the inhabitants, stole their mixtapes and grabbed all their money. On day 311 I found another bastion and history repeated itself. My luck continues, I found yet another bastion. It didn't take too long to clear out and I was back on my way. Day 312 I arrived at my usual nether fortress. For those of you that have watched 300 days, you know that my luck with skulls isn't exactly amazing. However, for once it actually was amazing. I got the first skull insanely quickly and the second only a couple of skeletons later. About 10 minutes later I got the third and then a fourth. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'll happily take them. I had one problem. I had a 3,000 block journey home and 25 rockets to get me there. I was able to travel about 2.3k blocks before I ran out. It's been a long time since I've travelled the nether on foot. After some minor disagreements, I was able to make it home on day 313. After brewing some potions in preparation for the wither, I returned to the creeper farm. That's right, I watched the tutorial again and now the answer to my problems was clear. I returned the redstone clock to normal and on day 314, before building the roof, I started work improving the water system. From day 314 to 315, I was improving the water system and completing the roof. Day 316, it was time to earn money. I found the melons and pumpkins while selling them off to the prisoners. Did I say prisoners? I meant villagers. I was going to pillar up in order to AFK the new and improved creeper farm, but night was falling, so there'd be less spawns. I instead headed to my tower and started work on a new project. I'll keep it a secret for now though. Day 317, it was a moment of truth. After all the time I spent on the creeper farm, would it finally work? And man, it definitely worked. Throughout the night I kept working on the new project. It's going to take ages to build, but I want to build a massive throne room. I started my dragon egg just living in my ender chest and I thought it'd be insanely cool to have it rest on one of the arms of a throne. When I said I wanted this throne room to be massive, I really did mean massive. I've been watching Hermitcraft and was really inspired by the huge build. Day 318 I halted my progress on the throne room because I was going to fight the wither. This plateau that I spawned on was way too small and led to a super scuffed fight where I got stuck in this hole multiple times. Eventually I was able to overcome the wither and was rewarded with another star. And what do you do when you've just slain a 3-headed skeleton monster? Make money, of course. You can never have enough emerald blocks. I started setting up a new beacon underground because it made building the throne room so much easier. I had haste on both the beacons outside the tower, but because I was further away I was only getting regular haste. Day 319 I was carving out an area for the throne room, but day 320 I was done. Well, done with the first section. My pickaxe is on its last legs, but a quick trip to the hall had it fixed up in no time. I was going to need a lot of blackstone for the throne room and I decided I would look for it whilst also using TNT to find ancient debris. I had blown up thousands of blocks already in my ancient debris mine, so I started a new one. It's day 321. How much debris did I find with 58 TNT? 3. Clearly the the wither skill luck from earlier run dry. Not just dry like instant noodles without water, my luck was drier than a desert. I gathered a ton of blackstone before heading home. This tunnel is how deep I want the throne room to be, so I had a lot of mining ahead of me. For the rest of day 321, all of day 322, all I did was mine out hundreds of blocks. Even with haste 2, it was going to take a while. By the night of day 322, I made a lot of progress. I had to stop off at the village hall to repair my pickaxe for the second time. Day 323, I was planting some new carrot patches. I really want to fill some of the empty areas around my base and add some more colour to mix in with my wheat fields. Night had fallen, and as someone who never sleeps in Minecraft, phantoms soon appeared. Trying to fight someone armed with a netherite sword when you have less physical strength than a pizza box probably isn't the best idea. I got back to work clearing out the throne room and was able to finish it by the end of the night. Day 334, now that the space was clear, I could actually start building the throne room. I wanted to have 4 huge blackstone obsidian pillars to support the roof. From day 324 to 325, I was building the pillars and made decent progress. Late into the night of day 325, I went out to do some trading and found someone I thought had been lost a long time ago. I found Captain Crunch. If you've watched 200 Days, you might remember this guy. He randomly started living in my house but disappeared one day. He was a lot greener than I remembered him though. His friends mysteriously disappeared, not sure how that happened, and then I killed him. After a few minutes, Captain Crunch was back. My friend was back to normal. Well, he's a decent friend, but he's still gonna live in the sheep pen. Day 326, I extended out the path to the new carrot farm and realized that at some point I needed to move the cows somewhere else. They're all just piled into a small pen that's been there since the original 100 days. Forget the cows for now though, because I needed more obsidian for the pillars. Once I returned, I finished the second and third pillars, but decided to wait till later to build the fourth because my beacon was in the way and I couldn't be bothered to move it. I instead began changing the floor to stone bricks. Day 327 times I hear monster noises, so I went into the caves below the throne room in order to light them up. I finished the stone brick floor, but I wasn't done with it by any means. I wanted to add an ornate pattern for extra detail, so I marked out where I wanted the design to go with some sand. I went out to farm my carrots, and of course the phantom showed up, which is really fun. I think the best part is that I would prefer to listen to a piano getting run over by a truck than listening to a phantom screech. Money might not fix every problem, but it sure is nice to have. I decided I wanted to use obsidian as part of the pattern for the floor and spent the rest of the night mining it. Day 328, I built the pattern out of obsidian as in some emerald blocks. This pattern went through a lot of trial and error before I was happy with it, but I promise it will look good. I wanted to use sea lanterns instead of torches to light up the throne room, and to get them I would need to return to the ocean monument I cleared in 300 days. I spent the whole night looking for it but couldn't remember where it was. As the sun rose on day 229, I found what I thought was a cleared monument. However, I noticed too late that this wasn't the monument and that the Elder Guardians were most definitely alive. I found the monument that I actually wanted, but with mining fatigue 3 and no buckets to milk to get rid of it, I had no choice but to wait. Once it finally wore off, I headed into the monument. I had water breathing and night vision potions which made life much easier and being able to break blocks when I could easily move from room to room. After grabbing a ton of sea lanterns, I headed back home and added some to the floor. I still wasn't happy with the design though, it looked way too messy. The whole of day 330 was just me changing the pattern on the floor. It seemed like no matter what I tried, I couldn't get a good result. It was like writer's block but in Minecraft form. Day 331, I made the first step in the right direction for the floor. I swapped out the sea lanterns for string lights and they fit the style much better. After building some on the wall, I returned to changing out the floor. It took all of day 332, but I stumbled onto an idea that finally clicked. It looked like an eye of Ender and it had the right amount of detail without being overcrowded. I've been underground rebuilding a floor for the past hour and wanted to change things up, so I began removing my old creeper farm. As usual, the phantoms showed up and I had to deal with them. If you're wondering why I don't just sleep to get rid of them, I almost never sleep in this world because I've only got 100 days. Time is precious. Day 333, I removed all traces of the creeper farm, leaving nothing but a pile of blocks. I also now had 3 extra cats because I'd use these guys in the farm. I gathered up some materials from my chest because I was going to be building a new area to my base, a market. I thought it'd be a good fit alongside all my crops, and a marketplace can really help a base feel more medieval. Day 334, I built the canopy of the first market stall. I added some decoration using stairs to make shelves along with some barrels lining the wall. Using item frames to display food adds an extra layer of detail and really helps to bring the stall to life. I gave the second stall a pretty interesting canopy. Instead of being made out of wall blocks, I used beds. Day 335 was starting the morning off with the phantoms dying, which already makes it a good day. The sheep got a makeover because I've run out of blue wool and needed more to finish the canopy. I finished it by the end of the day. Inside this stall will be selling tools and armour. Of course, no market would be complete without a stall serving meals. Sometimes you can give a block a completely new purpose, such as using scaffolding for seats. Day 336, I did some interior work on the food stall, trying my best to make it feel as if people could actually cook in here. I was really happy with how the market was turning out. As nightfall, I had one goal on my mind. Usually I'd say emeralds, but this time it was carrots. I made sure to use my fortune pickaxe, and this small field gave me an absolute ton. I then started work on a new carrot field. Day 337, as I went over to get some water for the new field, I realized there was a piglin jockey wandering amongst my pumpkins. They're pretty rare and I didn't want it despawning, so I rushed off to grab a name tag. I picked the name KFC Crusader and sprinted back to name my new pet. Except, only the KFC part remained. The jockey had wandered into this one block gap, which of course suffocated the piglin. Rest in peace, KFC Crusader. With the carrot field finished, I headed out to go to dark oak wood because I wanted to build a windmill where the old creek farm used to be. I chopped wood for the rest of the day, and as I returned, I realized this village had a bunch of hay. Now villagers, don't panic, I'm just stealing all the food. After I arrived back home with all the hay those villagers had happily given me, I started building the windmill. All of day 338, I was building the basic structure of the windmill. In the future, I'm definitely going to get the replay mod so that I can make time lapses of builds rather than only being able to show you the first person view. The morning of day 339, I started planting a little temporary bamboo patch because I needed more to craft scaffolding. For the decoration on the windmill, I used slabs to create small archways and stairs, trapdoors and fences to frame the windows. By night time, I finished the main body of the windmill and it's looking decent, although of course it's missing the blades. I started building the fence skirting and I hope you're not afraid of heights. I wish the phantoms were. Day 340, I finished the fence skirting and started adding wool to complete the blades. By the end of the day, with the rain pouring down, I have finished. I harvested all the bamboo that I've been growing. For the rest of the night I tidied up the interior of the windmill and added in some white stained glass. Day 341 I was running low on rockets, so I headed over to my creep farm to AFK. I built a small platform so I wouldn't need to waste time piddling up. After half a day of AFKing, I got more than enough gunpowder. I decided I wanted more in order to craft TNT to get netherite mining. I AFK'd the rest of the night, which takes us up to day 342. I crafted a ton of TNT and also used my spare wall to make beds. I wanted to get as much ancient debris as possible. Unlike the last time I went searching for ancient debris, this time it went amazingly well. I was able to find 30 pieces of debris with all the TNT and beds. It definitely makes up for earlier when I got 3 pieces. Day 243 I was mining blackstone all day because I was determined to get back to work on the throne room. Taking a break from building it by farming and building other stuff have really helped get my motivation back. It was night by the time I returned and I started on my first idea. I felt like the pillars lacked a lot of depth and adding another bump to them would help them feel less blocky. Day 244 I was still working on the pillars and it's crazy how just a few blocks can make something look so much better. Once I finished with the pillars I moved on to the walls. All the way from day 244 to 245 all I was doing was mining away stone and building the walls of the throne room. I won't take you through every detail of this because well, I'm building some walls. It's pretty boring unless you like walls or something, I don't know. Now here's where things get more interesting. I was thinking about the eye design on the floor and decided it'd be cool to add more of them around the room. I used a blackstone button for the pupil and I think the design of the eyes came out really well. This place is definitely starting to look like a throne room. The 246 I'm doing something a bit more normal than building a bunch of eyes underground, farming melons and pumpkins. I have to be honest, as much as I complain about them, the villagers are the heart of my hardcore world. Being able to get XP and items with ease is ideal and maybe I don't appreciate that enough. I should really start being nicer to the prisoners. I mean, what? Villagers. Anyway, all the cats in the creep farm were just left around my base, so I brought them all into the tower. I'd already lost a cat to a lightning strike in 300 days, I didn't want history to repeat itself. I added the eye design to the top walls of the throne room and this place has made a ton of progress. Day 347 I had a pretty big task ahead of me. This roof was not going to be easy to build. At least I knew what I was going to build on it. After building a sword section of the roof, I realized I had one other thing to do which is pretty important. I still hadn't built the 4th pillar, but in order to do that I need to take down the beacon that was in the way. After getting about half it done, I ran out of blackstone. Remember, it's not a Mosey video if I don't run out of materials at least 3 times when I try to build something. Day 348 I mined a ton of blackstone before deleting this gas from existence. It was late into the night by the time I returned and I saw a skeleton in the throne room. Then I didn't see a skeleton in the throne room. I swapped out the blackstone buttons for obsidian because the buttons seemed too small. With all that blackstone I mined I was easily able to finish the 4th pillar. Day 249 I was working on the roof. It was honestly a lot easier to build than I thought, probably because I knew exactly how I wanted it to look. Day 250 I came close to using my second turn of undying in this hardcore world. I found this tiny gap and of course the creeper was there to greet me. If I hadn't switched from my elytra to my chestplate a few minutes before this happened, I would have 100% needed the totem to survive. I needed more streamlights for heading into the nether. There are a few minor fights that involve death, but at the end of the day I'm best friends with the piglins. It was day 351 by the time I returned, I immediately added the streamlights to the roof and tidied up the throne room. And what throne room is complete without a throne? I just want to let you know that I was not holding back on this thing. After the amount of time it took me to build this place, I wanted to make sure my throne was as lavish as possible. I used diamond blocks for the arms and ancient debris for the back, as well as placing the dragon egg and a wither skull on the arms. And here I am standing on the throne. It's taken a lot of time to get to this point, but I'm really proud of how this place turned out. Day 352 it was time to fix something that I should have done hundreds of days ago. This weird piece of terrain that's been bugging me for absolutely ages, but I kept forgetting to remove. With netherite tools the job was done in just a few minutes. I decided I'd go make some money. You know what, I take back everything nice I've ever said about villagers. 1 or 2 infects is annoying, but I can deal with it. But 7 villagers? Using up 7 golden apples in one go is painful. I was relaxing with some more farming at night because I just finished the throne room and didn't want to start another project immediately after. Things didn't go to plan. I wasn't at full hunger, so I wasn't getting any natural healing, and of course fans have been attacking me all night. Some zombies approached me and I tried to switch out my elytra from my chestplate, but I fumbled and instead took off my helmet, when I was taking even more damage. I accidentally chucked my chestplate on the floor as even more zombies started attacking me from behind. I dropped my shovel on the ground also retrieved my chestplate and sprinted away to armor up. I quickly ate a golden carrot and ran in to grab my shovel back. Fighting the monsters off was surprisingly a lot easier when I had my weapon out and all my armor on. Day 253 was what last night was supposed to be, some peaceful farming. At night I flew out to look at my base from afar and I love how it's starting to feel like a small town. The next thing I needed to do was fix the entrance to the throne room because dirt and stone is exactly what I had in mind. I went for stone bricks with these blackstone enclaves where I was going to put armor stands. 6 suits of gold armor wasn't cheap, but I think it was worth it. Day 254 I messed around with moving some of my stuff into the throne room such as my enchanting table and a few other workspaces. I wanted to make more space in my storage area because there were a lot of items I didn't have chests for. I took it all down there because it just looked out of place. Day 255 I visited my trading hall to make some money while I thought of where all that stuff could go. I realised my second villager breeder would be the perfect place. I built it too close to the trading hall so it didn't actually work properly and now I can finally turn it into something useful. After finishing up the new enchanting area I added some crafting tables and furnaces to the floor of my storage room. Day 256 I started building a path to the market. I paid a quick visit to my creep farm in order to get more gunpowder for rockets and added more chests to my storage. Day 257 I headed out to a dark oak forest because I knew I need dark oak sooner or later. I also grabbed a bunch of these mushrooms with my silk touch axe. Once I got home I started preparing a bunch of different items so I was going to be building a drown farm. Tridents on Java are insanely rare to come across so building a drown farm was my best bet at finding one. I had all these cats just chilling in my tower and I suddenly had an idea. The market needs some shopkeepers so why not have a market of cats? Although I don't think they understand how money works so good luck buying anything. Day 258 I headed out to the ocean to get some seagrass. I needed turtle eggs in order for the drown farm to work. You need seagrass to breed turtles. I spent the rest of the day just trying to find some turtles but I only found one. I did find a shipwreck though so that was kinda cool. The night fell and I still haven't found any more turtles so I thought I'd just spend the time killing some drown in case I got lucky. And well this happened. I somehow got a trident from a random drown. Day 259 I still wanted turtle eggs and I found the perfect spot. After getting in the seagrass I explored the shipwreck and found some musty old stew. It smelled weird so I threw it in the sea. I probably just killed several species of marine life by doing that but I'm sure everything's fine. I collected all the turtle eggs and headed back home. As soon as I got back, I started working enchanting this trident. I had a bunch of enchanted books lying around with good trident enchantments, so it didn't take me too long to get a perfect riptide trident. It was raining, which gave me the perfect opportunity to try it out. I'm definitely breaking several flight safety laws here, but I'm way too fast to get arrested. I then sat on my throne with the trident in my hands, considering what I wanted to do next. I made a poll a couple of weeks ago asking what people wanted to see me build in 400 days, and the clear winner was the Wither Skull farm. The only thing I forgot about that was that in order to build a good Wither Skull farm, you need to place slabs and thousands of blocks in Nether, which would take me absolutely ages. I'll definitely build one at some point, but the more practical option was the gold farm. So day 360 I headed into the Nether to gather magma blocks for the farm. I'm not exaggerating when I say you need nearly 2 shulkers full of magma blocks to build it. The entire day I just mined an absolute ton of them, which is pretty easy considering how easy they are to break. Day 361 was doing some farm repairs. Gradually monsters have been trampling the pumpkin and melon stalks, and I need to sort all out. I visited the trading hall to make money and also to buy a bunch of glass for the farm. I didn't actually have enough glass for the farm and had to go out and shovel sand. I also gathered a bunch of leaves because I wanted to fix something that had been bugging me for a long time. This tree honestly looks like a deformed mushroom and it was time to fix that. But all of day 362 I was trying to sort out the tree. In my opinion, they're one of the hardest things to build in Minecraft, and I wasn't entirely satisfied by the end of the day. There were more important matters than the tree though. I wanted to build the gold one. As I was preparing to go to the Nether, I found this guy wandering around my pumpkins, and you know what happens next. I helped him go home, of course. What kind of person do you think I am? In order to build the gold farm, I needed to get up onto the Nether roof. It was also key that I built the gold farm above the Nether waste biome, as that's where zombie piglins spawn. Getting onto the roof is pretty easy to do, but it only works on Java. You want to find a piece of bedrock that has a height of 127, get up to it using ladders, and throw an ender pearl between the ladder and the block. Of course, make sure to bring obsidian to make a new Nether portal, or you're going to be stuck up here. Day 363 I began building the gold farm. I followed this tutorial by Shulkercraft. It's a great farm. If you want to build a gold farm for yourself, I definitely recommend this one. I needed to build a column with those turtle eggs from earlier hidden behind trapdoors. The only problem is that I ran out of trapdoors. I quickly headed back to the overworld and grabbed more than enough wood. With the trapdoors done, I now need to build 4 massive platforms of magma blocks for the zombie piglins to spawn. The next few days are just me placing hundreds of magma blocks. There's honestly not much to talk about. I had a few encounters with ghasts and had to take them down as fast as I could before they blew up parts of the farm. By day 365 I finished the main part of the farm and it's working really well. The final thing that I had to do was build glass on top of the farm in a very specific way in order to prevent ghasts from spawning. With that done, it was time to AFK. I AFK for a little over 5 minutes, taking us up to day 366 and returned to find a ton of gold. I definitely would have AFK'd longer. When you only have 100 days, time is precious. When I returned to the overworld, it was night, so I spent some time hunting drown in case I got a second trident. Day 367 I was still hunting drown and spotted a mushroom biome. I made another portal so that I could revisit easy in the future and then headed home. It was nice to be back in familiar territory. After crafting more golden apples, I spent some of the night lighting up the roof of my trading hall and of course got attacked by the phantoms. I also converted my old sugarcane farm into a bamboo farm because my bamboo supply was running low. I began day 368 by making money off the villagers. Did you think I was going to say prisoners? I mean I was, but let's ignore that. I AFK'd my creep farm for a bit because I was running along rockets and then chopped some spruce wood. I'd never actually done any decoration around the back of my tower when I finished building it, so it needs some improvement. A path and a bit of terraforming helped this area look much better. Day 369 I continued improving this part of the base, extending the path and adding walls. Do you want to see someone build a path in Minecraft for 10 minutes? Yeah, I didn't think so let's move on to day 370. My next goal was to finally sort out the overcrowded cow and sheep pens. I was going to build a barn, but first I had to deal with the terrain. Even when the efficiency 5 shovel, demolishing this hill was going to take a while. It took me all night, but by the morning of day 371 I could start laying the foundations of the barn. I used dark oak logs for the frame and stone bricks blended with regular stone for the walls. By the time night fell, I made decent progress. Some carol singers showed up, but I told them they were about 7 months too early. They got so mad they tried to smash the door down while yelling Merry Christmas. Hey, you leave that door alone. Day 372 I was finished with the main structure of the barn and started work on the roof. I was using quite an unusual material, pumpkins. I had my doubts as to whether it would actually turn out good, but I decided to trust the process. I actually ran out of pumpkins and had to go gather more. When I returned, the carol singer's friend showed up to avenge them. He did a terrible job. Once I finished the roof, I added a little bit of extra detail on the inside, making some wooden beams to represent rafters. Day 373 was finishing off the interior with some hanging lanterns as for hay. With that, it was time to get the animals into the barn, starting with the cows. I didn't need to get all of them by any means, only a handful. As for the rest, well, let's just say we got a lot more steak. With that out of the way, I was finally able to take down the spruce fence pen that had been around since the original 100 days. Here's a look at the barn from a distance. You know what time it is? Wall building time. Day 374 I paid a visit to the market to grab some carrots because I wanted to plant a new field. I just realized I never actually named any of the cats in the market, so if you have any names in mind, let me know in the comments. After finishing the field, I continued to expand my farming empire. Honestly, I think the farming obsession is kind of concerning, but who doesn't love some Minecraft carrots? I had to deal with a whole gang of zombies in the trading hall, but my netherite axe made quick work of them. Day 375 I wanted to increase the efficiency of my creeper farm, so I went down into the caves to light more of them up. I didn't find diamonds, but I did find a zombie spawn with a golden apple and a music disc. When I finally arrived back at the surface, it was night, so I just filled in the creeper hole outside my barn. Day 376 it was time to see if my efforts had paid off. I AFK'd the creeper farm for the entire day and was rewarded with an absolute ton of gunpowder. I wanted to craft more TNT, but first I needed to get sand because I'd run out. One ruined beach later and I had all the sand I required. I crafted as much TNT as possible and headed to the Nether. Day 377 was full of explosions, so I used up every piece of TNT I had. My luck was solid and I was able to find 15 pieces of ancient debris. I mean, compared to earlier when I found 3, I'm just happy with double digits. I returned home and crafted an anvil because I wanted to organize my shulkers with names. I also realized my iron supply was getting dangerously low, so I definitely need to build an iron farm in the future. Day 378 I changed the edges on the library to a pair of fence gates, which looks a million times better than a pair of fridge doors. The sun was shining as I farmed my pumpkins and melons and then made a ton of money from the villagers. Happy, imprisoned villagers. You know what else is imprisoned? All these cows in the barn. They need a proper field to live in, but first I had to shovel out more of this hill. Honestly, phantoms are just such a fun mod to deal with. They annoyed me all night, but by day 379 I cleared enough of the hill. After converting the remaining stone to grass, I started adding the wall. I spent all day building the wall and ended up finishing it at night. It still needs some more detail though, so I added these leaves to make the wall seem overgrown. Day 380 was the final day of working on the field. I scattered around some hay blocks, added some flowers, and used some coarse dirt to make the field seem more natural. Hey guys, who wants to buy some? Right, I've got a lot of doctor's appointments to book. I had no idea what these guys were doing, I don't think they did either. I mean, I did kind of kill them before they could actually say anything, but that's beside the point. After curing the massive disease outbreak, I went around lighting up as much area as possible. I didn't want zombies spawning anywhere near the villager hall. Day 381 began with me moving the sheep in with the cows. A wandering trader showed up and 1 emerald for a pumpkin. Mate, I'm not a villager. He was selling dye though, so I bought his entire stock. In honor of the pink sheep that I accidentally killed in 300 days, I spared this sheep's life. I'm so glad you're all cured. I love scamming you, trading with you. During the night, I moved this wheat field back a few blocks so I can make the path bigger. Day 382, I decided that a replacement for the old sheep pen would be a small patch of lavender, which I would create using these lilac flowers. It was raining, so getting home wasn't exactly difficult. I placed on all the flowers that I gathered, and I think it looks really nice. The rain cleared and I took a look at my land, although the creeper farm really sticks out. I thought about how badly my last fight with the wither had gone and wanted to redeem myself, so I headed to the nether. Day 383, I arrived at the usual nether fortress and started grinding for wither skulls. It only took me about 15 minutes to get all the skulls, which is some solid luck. Unfortunately, my food supply was running out. I had a bunch of golden apples, but in terms of regular food, I only had 1 golden carrot left in my inventory. I stopped off at one of the bastions I looted earlier to grab some pork chops. As I was returning, I spotted this nether fortress, which would be a good candidate for a wither skull farm. I also got a 4th wither skull and these skeletons attacked me. Another thing I spotted on the way back was a bastion that I found all the way back in 200 days but never looted. And it was where this hardcore world very nearly ended. For some reason, I decided to melee my way through the bastion and I got jumped by piglin brutes. My health got dangerously low, but luckily the knockback on my sword meant I could send them flying into the lava below. After that, I learned my lesson and stuck to using my bow. The chest loot was decent, and of course I made sure to grab all the gold blocks. Day 384, I was still flying back home through another when I found the old portal I made. I was getting sick of the nether, so I went through and found myself in a desert. I grabbed a bunch of sand before heading home to the overworld. Luckily for me, it was raining, so I could put my riptide trident to good use. I also placed some more streamlights in the throne room because there were a few areas that were dark enough for monsters to spawn. I prepared some swiftness potions for the wither fight, before realizing I had no soul sand, so I returned to the nether to get some. With one mouse click, I could have sent this golem to his fiery demise, but there was a child watching, so I let him live. Day 385, I found a good spot to fight the wither and began the battle. It was a pretty standard fight, used the swiftness to outspeed him, then chugged a strength potion to destroy him with a smite sword. I did some trading with the villagers and crafted a new beacon, but I wasn't sure where I wanted it to go. I decided to just store it in my end chest for now. I wanted spruce wood for a new project, so I made one of these big trees and chopped it all down. Day 386, I started laying the foundations. My horses have been tied to a fence post for a long time, and I thought it'd be nice to give them a proper stables. For day 386 to 387, I went through a lot of trial and error while building, but finally I had something that I liked. Day 388, I was adding some more details to the stables. The final thing I wanted to add to the stables was hay blocks scattered around the floor, so for once I actually farmed some of my wheat. Day 389, I finished off the floor of the stables and began moving the horses over. Once you have an elytra, you're probably never going to need a horse ever again, but it's nice to have them in a proper building instead of just tied to a post. I farmed the birds of pumpkins as per usual and then traded with the villagers. Next on my list of things to sort out was this side of my tower. It definitely needs some terraforming. Day 390, the new path was complete. My plan for day 400 was to respawn the Ender Dragon, so I had 9 days to achieve my remaining plans. The first thing I wanted to do was get a perfect bow. My current one was pretty good, but it was missing the flame enchantment. I visited the library and got to work getting all the enchantments I needed. In case you wondered why I didn't just add flame to my current bow, the anvil would say it was too expensive, so I needed to enchant a new bow from the ground up. I headed out to my Enderman XP farm because I was burning through my levels insanely fast. It didn't take me too long before I had everything I needed. The anvil at the farm had broken a while ago, so I needed to head home in order to combine the books and bows together. Day 391, I arrived back home and began adding everything together. Before long, I had obtained a perfect bow. With that out of the way, I moved on to my next aim, fixing this tree. I know I fixed it before, but honestly it still looks like some kind of weird fungus. I gathered up plenty of wood and leaves and got to work. Day 392, I was still remaking the tree. I really struggled with making custom trees. Getting them to look natural is one of the most difficult things. But at the end of the day, I was pretty happy with what I've been able to make. I then added a path down by the stable, so I've forgotten to make one earlier. Day 393, do you know what else I've forgotten to make? A wall around my melon farm. Monsters were constantly trampling the seeds and it was getting on my nerves. A good chunk of the day was spent lighting up this cave I found under the melon farm. This area looks like a perfect spot for diamonds. I mean, surely it has diamonds in it. This is mostly bringing you your weekly diamond report. There were absolutely 0 diamonds in this massive cave. By the time I returned to the surface, it was late into the night and I got to work planting melon seeds. Day 394 was for the farming. I filled out the entire field with seeds and by night it was finished. Honestly, there's not much to say about day 394, which is fine because now it's day 395. In order to bring the melon field to life, I used the same technique with the leaves and even threw in some flowers and a campfire. Of course, to respawn the Ender Dragon on day 400, I would actually need the crystals to respawn it. I crafted all 4 and chucked them into my ender chest. As the sun was setting, I set on one final quest before the battle. I wanted a second enchanted golden apple. I found this ruined portal, opened the chest, and nearly got blown up by a creeper. But more importantly, there it was, a second god apple. I couldn't believe my luck. I wasn't even 1,000 blocks out from my base. Despite already finding what I'd been searching for, I continued exploring. I'd never flown out in this direction before and wondered what I could find. I found a jungle, which is awesome, a ruined portal, and even a coral reef. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if that drown dropped his trident up? Wait, what? You can see the disbelief as I just sink to the ocean floor. I found a desert village and like any peaceful traveler, stole all their food. Day 296 I continued on my journey. I found a pillager outpost and then this desert temple. Luck in Minecraft is a weird thing. Sometimes it's on your side, and sometimes it's not. And during this journey, it was absolutely on my side. Just in case anyone thinks I'm cheating or anything like that, the seed of this world is in the description, so if you doubt me, you're more than welcome to check out the god apples for yourself. Hey look, more free food. I was more than satisfied with my journey and started making another portal to return home. I found another ruin portal, but this one had pretty standard loot. Let's have a moment of silence for this skeleton that got sent absolutely flying. The nether meant that I was able to make the journey home in just a few minutes. I wanted to get a second perfect trident with channeling this time, so I spent day 397 trading with the villagers in order to get more XP. I got a great enchantment off the bat, and from there it only cost me 22 levels to complete his trident. With a little more trading, I reached a high enough level. I didn't know what to name the trident though, so I paused the game to message one of my friends about it. He gave me an absolutely insane name, and with that the trident was finished. At night I got some target practice with my new bow. Day 398 I was extending the path to the market and up to the barn. I don't know how many times I said the word path in these 100 days, but I guarantee it's way too many. Day 399 I wanted to revisit my first base in this hardcore world, which I made all the way back on day 1. Hold on, 58 spruce logs? I'll take them. I'm pretty sure there used to be an armour in this village, but I have absolutely no clue what happened to him. The only other villager here has been stuck on this hill since the beginning. Once I was back home I chopped a bunch of oak wood and checked on the bamboo farm that I'd actually never checked up on. It had more than enough bamboo. I crafted a ton of scaffolding, but now it's day 400. I said goodbye to my favourite pets, Moon and Sun, just in case it didn't return, but I wasn't worried about the dragon fight. Once I reached the end I placed down the 4 crystals and began the fight. With an elytra, taking out the crystals on top of the towers was a breeze, although I did shoot this one from point blank range. Not my proudest moment. With the crystals gone, it was only a matter of time as I whittled down the dragon's health. I thought about this one scene in Indiana Jones where this guy smashes a bottle over someone else's head and decided I wanted to recreate the moment. With the bottle in hand, I dealt the finishing blow. Of course, once I got home I had to reel in this bottle because it's now sacred. I brought Sun and Moon out to go watch the sunset on day 400 of hardcore Minecraft. That's going to be it for the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. This video took weeks to make, so if you'd help me out by dropping a like, maybe even subscribing, it would mean a ton. If you want to see 500 days, let me know down below in the comments. I'm more than happy to make it. For those of you that have watched this far, you're in for a treat. For the final part of this video, I'm going to be touring my bases and shaders. Peace, and I hope you enjoy.